What's up, YugiTubers? This is the RJB0 coming at you from the lovely Vancouver, Washington, and I figure it's about time I started talking about the horrid thing that is the March 2012 ban list. And although I have my own fair share of grumpy and nasty things to say to Konami about this, I have to remind you guys about one thing. Complaining is a way to prompt discussion, but complaining isn't the discussion itself. And I've seen a lot of complaining on YugiTube about this ban list, and a little bit of discussion. And I think that the real way to discuss a ban list is, instead of talking about the stupid decisions that Konami made, it's talking about what to do about the stupid decisions that Konami made. So that's pretty much what this video is going to be, I hope. I hope that's what it comes across as. But I really want to start off on a positive note. And that positive note is, it could have been a whole lot worse. We dodged a whole lot of nasty bullets on this one, pretty narrowly, because Konami could have made some decisions that would have been game-breaking. The first, we narrowly dodged the bullet of losing Brionac when they announced Hidden Arsenal 5 Special Edition. I think that would have been a really stupid decision. We all love our Brionacs, though, and we're all glad that that didn't happen. Leviair. Killing Leviair would have killed a lot of decks Konami wouldn't like. Except for Rabbit. Rabbit they really like. But once again, they didn't make that decision, because that would have been a stupid decision. They could have brought back some cards that would have made them make some profit on the new Duelist Pack Yugi. I think it's new. I don't know. I've just seen it in stores everywhere. They could have given us a searchable Darkrai by bringing back the Black Forest, that's what that's called. They could have given us a second Monster Reborn or Dark Hole with Magician of Faith. But they didn't. So I digress. You guys get the idea. It could have been a whole lot worse. So why don't I get started with the actual ban list, the things that literally got banned. And for all you plant players, I really am sorry. We all loved plant decks because they were fun. And they required a little bit of creativity to be able to play them well, especially Junk Doppel. I love my Junk Doppel deck. But we all knew that they were going to go eventually, and the decisions they made about how to take them away were a little stupid. But let's start off with Trishula. They were going to take away a Synchro from us. That was inevitable. I'm kind of glad that it was Trishula. Yeah, Trishula isn't the problem with Synchros right now. None of the cards that they banned were the problems with Synchros right now, but it really was the Synchro to ban if they were going to do it. It's really good, but you see, guys, it isn't the end of the world with Trishula. Even though I have 2, and yes, it's dropping in price like a rock, I mean, I'm holding on to mine. Even though we have 2, we still have Mistworm. I'm going to show you guys this card. This card will be our savior for level 9s. It's still a really good card. You guys you got so caught up in your Trishulas that you didn't remember that we still, for a long time, people were terrified of this card. And now they will be again. So, start running Mistworms, if you're really that bummed about losing Trishula. Next, Trap Dust Shoot. I'm actually really happy about this decision. Trap Dust Shoot is a pretty much skill-less way of winning a game. People say that it takes decision-making skills to decide what card to send back to their deck, but it really doesn't. Usually, whoopsie, sorry about that. Usually, there's a pretty obvious choice. So what are you going to do about losing this? If you're really bummed about losing Trap Dust Shoot, start main decking Mind Crush. Do it, really. The card is really good in this format, because guess what? A lot of the decks that are topping at tournaments do right now. They search for cards, whether it be from their graveyard or from their deck. They add cards to their hand, and the second they add a card to their hand, you know that it's there. You activate Mind Crush, you make them lose that card before they can even use it. And it takes a little bit more skill to decide what cards to use Mind Crush on, and when to make a smart decision for guessing. But it's also a really good card. So, if you're really bummed about losing Trap Dust Shoot, run Mind Crushes. In fact, I actually recommend you siding Mind Crushes no matter what deck you're running right now. Spore and Glow Up. these were the two really stupid decisions. Why? Spore, I really think that they should have banned Lone Fire and Dandy, because Spore is pretty much useless without Lone Fire or Dandy, unless you put it in a Naturia deck. And that would be really cool to see right now, is a competitive Naturia deck. But, yeah, Spore wouldn't have been a problem if they had banned Lone Fire and Dandy. And now that they've got Trishula gone, Glow Up isn't that much of a problem. Yeah, they're just trying to get rid of Synchros, and I understand that. We have to remember that Konami is a corporation, and by American law at least, it is actually illegal for a corporation to make a decision or to hire people that will make a decision that is not in the best interest of the profit of their shareholders. So getting rid of Synchros was the best decision for them. And it was the legal decision, to be entirely honest. So let's go into ones. TG Agent, I'm sorry, you were too good, and you were too autopilot. You had to go. Earth, I'm not really sorry about. I'm not seeing agents go. Or, sorry about seeing agents go. There we go. There are other ways to run agents, though. There are other ways to run fairies in general. Herald of Perfection decks might come back. That would be interesting. As for TGs, as with the 2s, which I'm going to get into now, Tengu. This card getting hit along with Striker is what really killed TG. But really, if you run TG, this is not the end of the world for you. Yes, Striker is one of your best cards. Yes, it's a problem to not have Tengu. But guess what card you do have? Photon Saber Tiger. TG Skill Drain deck can actually maximize the use of that card. It's a floater. Yes, it isn't as good a floater as Tengu, but it's a level 3 2000 beater with Skill Drain on the field, and it's a floater. And you can Horn of the Phantom Beast it, I'm pretty sure. I can check on this later. If I'm wrong, flame at me in the comments. But really, it's not the end of the world to lose Tengu for Synchro decks. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, Synchro decks. They killed you. Unless you're zombies. Zombies are still sitting pretty. So there you go, Tengu. Torrential. Really excited about this card. Enjoy having 2 of these. That's what I can say. Because it'll make people play conservatively, and it'll mean that you have to plan really hard, and that actually having to plan against your opponent really makes the game a lot more fun. So people are wondering what to do about the 2 Torrentials. The 2 options right now, the 2 really big options, are Starlight Road or Huge Revolution is Over. I personally like Huge Revolution is Over better because although Starlight Road is a plus, it can be warninged. And I know if I'm playing and I want to go for an OTK and I heavy and somebody activates Starlight Road, hell yeah, I'm going to pay the 2,000 life points to take out that Starlight Road and make sure that I can pull off my OTK. With Huge Revolution is Over, they'd have to use a Dark Bribe or a Judgment, or people might start running 7 tools again. And I just think it's better just because it can't be warning, and it's a counter trap card. So that's what you can do against Torrential, but really I'd say have fun with the Torrentials. Have fun with the game with 2 Torrentials in it. The stall cards that they gave us, they're basically telling us to grow up. Now that we have Ixies, this card is not that good anymore, and we have so many ways of popping cards that Marshmallow isn't a problem. As for the other 2, I don't think Six Sams really needed the help, but they also didn't deserve to get hit as badly as they did. And Lumina, it's just going to make a lot of noobs happy and people who play legitimate Light Sworns, and it's also going to help them sell Mega Pack Raw Yellow. That's pretty much the explanation for that decision. Call of the Haunted at 3. This doesn't really matter that much. I have a friend who plays Gusto, and since they have so many searchers that just activate when it's sent to the graveyard, this card is going to be a lot of fun for him at 3. So this card could be fun, but it isn't going to really hurt the TCG. So what are the problems with this? It's just going to be really boring for a while. Honestly, guys, at first it's going to be 3 with Wind Up Inzektor, Rabbit. And then it's going to be 4 with the Hieroglyph Dragons, and then Inzectors are going to realize how good their new Snatch Steel is, and then it'll be 1 as Inzectors. But I want to really emphasize that there is hope for the game. There is hope for the game to be interesting. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't been paying attention, the last 3 YCSs have been won by Dark Horse decks. Kansas City, they were expecting Plants or Dark World. And then came along Courtney Waller with Chaos Control. Nobody saw it coming. It was a really good deck. It was a really creative deck. And it was a really skill-based deck. And it won. Six Sams, nobody expected that to come back, but that won in Guadalajara. And then the TG Stun deck that didn't have any of the really expensive cards in it that Konami is selling to us. So, really, that's just reminding us that the decks, the microwavable decks that Konami makes for us are not the best. They are not the be-all, end-all. They do top, and you're going to be seeing a lot of them, and they make it kind of boring, but you can still be creative with decks and win things. You don't have to totally conform to things. So it's our jobs as players to come up with those interesting plays. And I am going to make it my mission as a Yu-Gi Tuber for the next few weeks to come up with, to make some reviews of cards that people may have forgotten about and some combos that could win you games. So, until I come out with that video series, get out your bug spray, Yu-Gi-Oh players.